So I want to talk about the differences between conservatives and liberals from kind of, I don't want to say it's a heart level, I guess just as I've already said, a basic level. If you listen to this podcast, if you watch the news, it might seem like the biggest difference between conservatives and liberals is whether or not we like Donald Trump, or whether or not we believe that there are 26 genders or just 2 genders, or whether or not we believe in abortion. And all of those are big disagreements that we have, and they do kind of dominate what we talk about, but they're really not the heart of our differences. It's true that these are the disagreements that we have today, but they stem from more fundamental disagreements that really go back, all the way to when conservatives and liberals were first birthed onto the world scene. So one of the biggest questions when you are deciding yourself whether or not you think that you fall under the conservative or the liberal or the moderate umbrella, the question is, where do you believe that our rights come from? So where do you think your rights come from? Conservatives in general, and I always want to say that I'm speaking in generalities because not every single person who identifies as a conservative might agree with my assessment of conservatism. Same thing with the liberal side. But in general, conservatives believe that your rights come from God. Your rights come from a creator. Your rights come from some kind of transcendent power. Liberals in general believe that your rights come not from God, but from the government, where the government has the power to give rights. Even if a liberal does believe that rights come from God, they believe that the government still has the power to give and to take away rights. Conservatives do not believe that. They believe essentially that the government has the power to recognize particular rights. And we'll talk about what that really means. So these are really the only 2 options, whether you believe that your rights come from God or whether they believe that they come from government. Now, some people are going to push back on that and say, no, I just believe that we have rights. I don't believe in God. I just believe that they're just there. And I also don't believe that they come from government. They're just there. They're just here. But that doesn't actually make very much sense. If you don't believe that your rights come from an authority, why do you call them rights? What are rights? What right do you have to rights if no kind of authority gave them to you? Why do you believe that you have a right to anything? The existence of rights, something that you are entitled to, something that you should be given or should be recognized or should be protected, necessitates the acknowledgement of the existence of some kind of authority. Otherwise, we live in this just completely subjective society where no one agrees to play by the same rules. We have no basis for saying that we have rights. No, we have no basis for laws, and we have total anarchy because you don't have a right to your own body. You don't have a right to your own property. You don't have any kind of right to life because who says that you do? Both conservatives and liberals believe that human beings have rights. We both agree on that. We both believe that humans are entitled to certain things. We disagree on where these rights come from, essentially. And because we disagree on where these rights come from and what the government's role is in these rights, we often disagree on what they are.